again presents live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. It's the West Virginia Championship. Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson. We're joined by 4 bowlers who are ready to roll.
He's a 2-time All-American from Wichita State University. Today he makes his first career TV Finals appearance. From Wichita, Kansas, Sean Rash.
Sean powered his way through the tournament qualifier and match play to make his first ever TV appearance. Today he looks to win his first title and a full-time job for next season on the Denny's PBA Tour.
He has 3 career Denny's PBA Tour titles, and today marks his 5th TV Finals appearance of the season. From Amarillo, Texas, Mike Scroggins.
The party at Scroggins is making back-to-back shows for the 2nd time this season. With a win today, he'll surpass $200,000 in earnings for a single season for the first time in his career.
He's currently 8th in the PBA Tour World Point Rankings. Today, he makes his 2nd TV Finals appearance of the season from Temecula, California, Mike Devaney.
The last time we saw Mike was in Phoenix, where he was knocked out of the Tournament of Champions. Today, he looks to get back to the top of that list and add more hardware to his trophy case.
He has 3 Denny's PBA Tour titles, including the 2003 Tournament of Champions. From Flower Mound, Texas, Patrick Healey Jr.
Don't let the quiet demeanor fool you. This silent assassin could strike without warning. Just ask this week's victims, Steelsmith, Barnes, and Weber, who never saw him coming.
These are your finalists competing for the 2006 West Virginia Championship.
We started our season with 21 weeks to build a champion. After today, we're 2/3 of the way there. It's the final standard event before our 2nd major of the season, next week's U.S. Open in New Jersey. Randy, let's look in on the matchups.
You got it, Dave. Well, Sean Rash, he swept his first 2 opponents, and then an epic battle with Walter Ray Williams Jr. Sean Rash winning in 7. Mike Scroggins, well, it doesn't matter if he bowls a lefty or a righty. Takes care of Robert Smith by sweeping him 4-zip. Mike Devaney takes out Mike Edwards in 6 games. Pat Healey Jr. takes care of Weber in 6. Keep in mind, all 3 righties were down 0-2 in the round of 8 and came back to make the telecast. Now let's go down to the floor to Dave and our first 2 semifinalists.
All right, Ray, thanks so much. Let's start with Mike Scroggins. 5th TV show of the year. It's been a dream season for you. You've told us that. You got a big fan here, too, as well. How can you take advantage of playing an athlete like Sean Rash, who makes his first appearance today?
Well, you know, Sean has an amazing game, and, you know, he's going to be a star out here very soon. I just hope it isn't today.
An honest answer. Thanks, Mike. Sean Rash, you defeated Walter Ray Williams Jr. the round of 8 to get here. What was that feeling like to make your first show?
Just the opportunity to be here every week is just a dream come true. Bowling Walter or Chris Barnes or Pete Weber, it's just an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm just going to live the dream and have nothing to lose today, so everything to gain.
Thanks for your time. First semi-finalists, Rash and Scroggins are set to go. Randy, let's check in with the oil pattern, 41 feet long.
Yeah, it's a scorpion pattern. Real slick down the lane this week. The head's hooked early. That gave the guys problems getting the ball to the break point. But what worked this week was nice soft ball speed. The righties are going to start at around 10, break something down, and move in. Mike Scroggins has got the left side of the lane to himself. He's going to play a shot that's kind of left to right and real straight and direct. Keep in mind, only 1 300 game this week, and with Mike Scroggins being the only left-hander on the telecast, well, it could just be like having pocket aces in a game of Texas Hold'em.
From Amarillo, Texas, back-to-back shows, Mike Scroggins. Big question with Mike. Can he step up and take the prize? That will be a big theme we talk about with Mike all day long. He's had an unbelievable year. First ball of the day. Not what he wanted.
You don't want to shoot the bucket first shot out of the gate and trying to shake the nerves. And the last couple of times on television, Mike Scroggins, with the exception of the Masters, he's struggled, and he struggled with ball reaction, period. And he's got to find a way to make sure that he's got a good look so he can get his ball to the 1-2 and strike.
That was a bucket nicely. Good mark and a spare for Mike Scroggins. He'll turn 42 years old on March 12th. 14th full year on tour. 3 titles. How about the moment now for young Sean Rash? His second standard Denny's PBA Tour event. He's on TV. And his dad, Gene, coming all the way from near Anchorage, Alaska. What a story that is. Flew all night on Friday to get here. All 10 down on his first ever TV shot for Sean Rash. Leading us to our first Ace Hardware matchup of the day. Rash, the youngster, Scroggins, it's time for him to step up.
Well, Mike Scroggins has got all the experience. Sean Rash making his first show ever. But again, it's going to boil down to ball reaction. If Sean Rash has a good look and a good reaction, it's going to help him shake the nerves early on. Mike Scroggins, well, he's been here before.
Double wood on his second ever TV shot. Sean Rash has a large following in Wichita, Kansas, watching right now. Head coach Gordon Vatican and his entire team, men and women, are assembled as we speak. University Bowling Center, about 30 fans of Sean. Big screen TV as he goes for this spare here. Of course, they're watching Patrick Healey Jr., another former Wichita State star. And that former shocker covers nicely.
Sean Rash, just a real likable kid. Had the opportunity to hang out with him. We played some golf in Alabama a couple weeks ago, and just a real nice kid. And I'll tell you what, Mike Scroggins said he's going to be a star out here. He's got a lot of talent, real young guy, only 23 years of age.
Easy win over Robert Smith in the round of 8 here Friday. We had great crowds all week, and the place was packed to watch Mike Scroggins, Sean Rash, Healey Jr. and Devaney all win their round of 8 matches. Better looking ball there from Scroggins. He told us yesterday how easy it was, relatively speaking, once he had a nice lead on Robert Smith to roll, because when you're ahead in a match, 2-0, 3-0, you can relax yourself a little bit. You see last week's result in Atlanta as he got to the title match. But as he said yesterday to us, Randy, this is a different deal now. On TV, it's a one-game format. You've got to step up right away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had an easy going match, but he only lost 2 games.
That lane does not have the ball reaction he wants.
See, you heard him say he thought this was a hooking lane, which means that this lane's already going through transition for Mike Scroggins. Something that doesn't happen a lot on the left side of the lane because of the lack of traffic. So it's time to make an adjustment. He leaves a bucket in the first frame and everything but the 8-pin in the 3rd frame.
And for the second time with a multi-pin conversion, does cover for a mark. Mike told us what a thrill it was to walk into the center here this week in West Virginia, Parkersburg, and be recognized right away. Hey, there's Mike Scroggins. Back home in Amarillo, one of the car dealers, Mike's friend, has his name on the marquee in lights. 2005 Masters champion. So the recognition is coming to Mike Scroggins. Sean Rash would like to make some recognition for himself with a nice shot. Randy, we had a chance to watch that round of 8 match with Rash against Walter A. Williams Jr. After Sean converted a 2-10 split, the house was on his side. He had them in his pocket, and it was a dramatic finish. The second he beat Walter Ray, and I mean literally, shook his hand, congratulated Walter on a great match, and then called his parents in Alaska. It had to be about 15 seconds after he won. Mom and Dad, I did it. With shots exactly like that.
Well, you know, he made the right adjustment too. He went light and left the 2-8, and all he did was get a little softer with his ball speed. You could see it at release where he kind of kept it a little bit more, kept the ball in line, and got it to finish a little bit harder. High flush in the 1-3, and right now he's starting to cause Scroggins to itch.
Frame. All 10 down for Mike Scroggins.
Trying to play off, you know, Sean Rash, the itch, Dave. Work with me, pal.
I got it. I thought it was good. He's had a great year, no question about it. However, when he doesn't win, some major trouble. Look at that average, Randy. What's the problem when he goes from high to low?
I think it's mostly ball reaction or not making the right adjustments. And this shot right here is going to tell you everything you need to know about this match. What kind of adjustment will he make, and will it work?
So big shot. Looks the double fifth frame. Double wood.
All right, I got that shot down.
That's good that he appears a little more relaxed, because at times Mike does get tense on TV. It's a very big day for Mike Scroggins. 5th show of the year. Can he prove to the bowling world he should be in the mix for Player of the Year?
Well, it's not going to happen until he figures out how to strike on this left lane.
Again, multi-pin conversion, but he's losing a lot in count here, and those are critical shots.
Yeah, I think what he needs to do on that left lane is move further left, go straighter, and go to his strength, and that's throwing it nice and straight and direct right at the 1-2 pocket.
Looks for the turkey. 5th frame. Has all 10 down. One of the top amateur bowlers in Team USA history. Also a great bowler at Wichita State, as we talked about. Won the 2003 IBC national title on a team basis. There you see his top finishes. Also was a runner-up for the 2003 IBC Player of the Year. Won the Junior Team USA Nationals in 03. World 10-pin Team Cup gold. Tremendous international experience. Can you apply that here? Wow. 10-pin wiggles and stands.
Good shot. Yeah, not bad at all. And it's amazing that anything is still standing when Sean Rash's bowling ball hits the pins. He's got a rev rate that's approaching 500 RPMs and a lot of ball speed. And when that ball hits the 1-3, not a whole lot left.
From Alaska, they found out, of course, late Friday. Sean was in. Look at that ball speed on the spare ball. That's about $2,000 a ticket for his dad to make that trip. He used air miles to fly his dad. His mom had to stay at home. And she's been tracking his progress throughout the week. Stayed home from work for a couple days, in fact. So watch it online. Well, now her son is in a great matchup. Head-to-head with Mike Scroggins. More on the way. Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Denny's. We're cooking now. By Dexter, where you can play with the pros. Enter to win at dextershoe.com. By bowlersparadise.com, the official online retailer of the Professional Bowlers Association. Log on today and win a free ball. And by Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. This year, let the tax experts at Jackson Hewitt help you get the biggest refund you deserve. What a great turnout we've had here in West Virginia. Great crowds for the round of 8 here on Friday. The same here for our live show on Sunday. Sean Rash, a 19-pin lead underway in the first semifinal with Mike Scroggins. Welcome, wild, wonderful West Virginia. Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson. Our entire crew. It's live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. Glad you could join us here on ESPN. Second semifinal coming up. Patrick Healey Jr. takes on Mike Devaney. That will be going to watch. But right now we're looking at Sean Rash in a great matchup with Mike Scroggins, a player you and I agree has to step up. Now's his time. He's got to win a couple of events to be seriously considered for Player of the Year.
Well, you know, he's leading the average list. He's leading the point list. He's only $1,500 behind Tommy Jones for the lead on the money list. You know, he said himself he's having a dream season, but I think for Mike Scroggins, he really needs to wake up and realize just how good he is. The bottom line for him, he has to close the deal on Sunday and start winning more titles.
With another TV appearance here today, Mike Scroggins overtakes last week's winner Tommy Jones for the Tour points lead. He told us last night finishing in the top 4 to make the round of Super 16 of the Denny's World Championship, bypass qualifying, a major goal of his right now. Scroggins had a tremendous season, top on the tour, not only in points, but earnings and average as well, plus a win at the Masters. That was his first career major. Here, though, Randy's down by 19 pins. What sort of changes does he need to make second half of this first semifinal?
He needs to figure out the left lane. He looks like he's locked in on the right lane. He struck every ball in the right lane. Figure out the left lane.
Seven pins.
That was a weak 17. That's the kind that you don't want to leave. You're left-handed. When you're right-handed, you don't want to leave a weak 10 because that's telling you that the ball is spent or lost its energy by the time it hit the pocket.
Look out, 7-pin trouble, just takes the side of that one. Remember Mechanicsburg, we hate to bring it up when Mike Scroggins is on TV, but we have to because he missed 2 7-pins, had open frames in Pennsylvania earlier this season.
You know, I think the problem for Mike Scroggins is simple. Right now, he's so focused on what he needs to do to get a strike that he just lost concentration shooting the 7-pin. He still made it. And there's a ball change right there. Yeah. Now, you see
the proper adjustment on that left lane that really gave him the trouble.
You see the 4-pin going, he cut the 7 out. That's what you're looking for. That means the ball's hidden properly and entering the pins at the right angle. And still, with all of his searching and trying to find the pocket, still only down by 20.
Spoke today with Gordon Vatican, his former coach at Wichita State.
Look out.
That ball way off. Oh, he was
quality.
Lucky there. Just the 1-2-4 could have been a lot worse on a light hit.
Oops. He gets fast and he gets it too far to the right, and they're real slick on the outside part of the lane, as they are with just about every pattern we bowl on, with the exception of the cheetah pattern, where we've got some dry boards outside. That's why the players always play in and week out.
Does cover nicely. ESPN's coverage of the day's PBA Tour rolls on. Assuming we can get there with a blizzard happening in New Jersey right now on the East Coast. Yeah, 63rd United States Open, the greatest bowlers in the world. Work the lanes at Brunswick Zone Carolier for a piece of the $350,000 prize fund. First place, $100,000, a 3-year tour exemption.
I'm going to shoot up next week, and I hear they've got another spot available for you.
That would be ugly.
Whoa, look out!
Down she goes, number 10.
How about that? It's a rigging 10/messenger. Watch this now. 6-pin going to go up and around the 10. Here comes a head pin. That only happens when you get a mitt full. And watch this guy get a mitt full right here.
Was that a booyah?
I don't know.
Or a boom, yeah.
Boom, yeah, maybe.
Scroggins tries to respond. And the troubles continue. He's having issues finding the pocket. Down by 17 now. Late into this match for Mike Scroggins.
Now he's lost the right lane. Look out. Wow.
He's had some difficult spares to cover in this match. Trying to stay alive, which he is here, heading into his foundation 9th frame.
Still has a pop here. I mean, if he strikes out, he shoots 219. Sean Rash is going at a 216 pace, so Sean would need a double and stay clean in the 10th frame. But Mike Scroggins, in my opinion, in order to have a chance here, needs to strike out. Wow.
10-pin stand.
My ball hits so bad on TV. I don't understand that.
He's looking for answers.
Well, it's kind of hard to comment on something I don't know anything about. I mean, the bottom line is his ball's not getting to the pocket the right way, then his carry's bad. I guarantee it. That doesn't happen when he's bowling match play. Now, granted, he's got more than one game, but television has been a different story. It is a different story, and the outcome has been completely different from Mike Scroggins. I think that his game plans coming into each and every Sunday in the 5 shows that he's made, I think you've got to question it. He's learned from each one of them. He says he's more prepared each and every time, but his game plan just doesn't pan out. The only show that I thought he had a great look at the the USBC Masters,
which of course he won. Dad Gene watching. Sean Rash goes for the knockout punch.
Yeah, and he keeps it on the lane here in the 10th frame. He's going to bowl for his first title.
His college coach told us today all of his great athletic experience growing up in Alaska. He was born in Denver. Needs 8 here to shut it out. Moved to Alaska as a baby. A lot of baseball, a lot of other sports helped him. He's got 10. He's got a win, and his dad, who came all the way from Anchorage, loves him. He'll make the final in his first ever TV appearance, just 23 years old. This is only his second standard Denny's PBA Tour event, folks. A young gun, if there ever was one. And he's one win away from a title. Unbelievable story. Sean Rash.
You know what? You can see the talent there, but I think Sean's a very mature 23 years of age, and he's very respectful of the game, very respectful of guys like myself and the older statesmen that have been out here for many, many years. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and that's just going to help in the overall scheme of what he's trying to accomplish, and that's win.
He is a winner here. Folks, keep in mind, he's not an exempt bowler. He had to come out of the PTQ, the pre-tournament qualifier. He's the third ever in Denny's PBA Tour history to make a show. Del Ballard Jr. this year in Phoenix. Liz Johnson last year in Grand Rapids, but none has ever won on tour from that spot.
That's nothing new.
And his dad just must be loving every moment of this.
Keep in mind that all three players, like you just mentioned, all bowled for the title.
Could Sean become the first winner from the PTQ all the way through? 7 games of qualifying to get through that. 2 7-game blocks round of 64, then dispatching Tim Chris, Michael Fagan, and the great Walter A. Williams Jr. in 7 games. Sean was down 0-2 to Walter Ray, who is still bidding to tie Earl Anthony's all-time tour title record at 41. I mean, what an unbelievable moment that was here on Friday, we all saw. And now, one step away from a title.
Hey, good luck, man. Oh, well. Good game.
The brash Rash takes center stage here today in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and the question marks continue from Mike Scroggins, who's made 5 shows but just has the 1 win. Rash advances. Special thanks to Jerry Lorenz, owner Emerson Lanes, historic center here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. He and his staff did a tremendous job. Bowlers so happy with all facilities here and returning to West Virginia for the first time since the mid-60s. Sunday night, the pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr. returns to his hometown for the first time since his appearance last year on the Contender to take on 5th-ranked former world champion Scott the Sandman Pemberton in a super middleweight fight. Contender Special, East Coast Pride on ESPN Live Sunday night tonight, 9:30 Eastern Time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Sean Rash already has defeated Mike Scroggins. He'll take on the winner of Healey Jr. and Devaney. Let's flash back now to some great West Virginia bowling history. We flash back to February 12, 1965. Exactly 41 years ago to the day here at Emerson Lanes in Parkersburg, the last PBA event held here. Fred Lenning and Ray Bluth, a future Hall of Famer, had a tremendous match that went right down to the wire.
After a tie of 225 in the final game, this is the roll-off.
Now we have an opposite situation that we had with Fred Lenning finishing. Fred Lenning needed a strike to win and 9 to tie. In overtime, Ray Bluth needs a strike to win and 9 to tie.
And Fred Lenning is the Parkersburg Open champion as Bluth knocked down only 7 pins. We'll be right back after this message.
Our Denny's PBA Tour schedule on the road. Weather permitting, assuming the snow melts, so we can get in there and get the bowling going. North Brunswick, New Jersey, Brunswick Zone, Carolina. It's the 63rd U.S. Open. Keep in mind, the blizzard postponed some of the Pro-Ams today. The PBA is doing its very best, folks, for you in Jersey to get rescheduled and get you out bowling as soon as possible. Then the PBA Geico Classic, AMF Thruway Lanes, Cheektowaga, New York, right outside Buffalo. Natives of Western New York. Fan favorites Tom Baker, Brad Angelo, Joe Ciccone, Jack Jurek all look for a title in their hometown. For more, log on to PBA.com for Pro-Am tickets. We know Sean Rash is to the final. Who will he take on for the championship? Perhaps Mike Devaney or Patrick Healey Jr., another former Wichita State bowler. We'll find out who it is next. Drew beats Mike Scroggins. will take on the winner of Devaney and Healey Jr., our next semifinal. And we're joined by them right now. Patrick Healey Jr., 7 top 10 finishes on this Scorpion oil pattern, 41 feet long, and a couple of titles. How would you best explain that success?
Well, the way the pattern plays, it plays, a little more oil at the end of the pattern, and not really a break point to really, throw the ball to. And my type of style and game, I rely on speed and a softer hand, so it benefits me.
Thanks for your time. All right, Mike Devaney. Last TV appearance in Phoenix, you told us in the interview last night you weren't pleased with the way you approached it. How do you change that today?
Different mindset. I was just overcome by nerves the last television show I made, and that's, not me. So today I'm confident, I'm relaxed, and I'm going to have a good time. Hopefully I throw a lot of strikes.
Thanks, Mike. Next, our approach Randy, subject Patrick Healey Jr.
Patrick Healey Jr., in my opinion, the shot maker, 5-step approach, but very deliberate. He gets the ball in the swing really. Watch this. You see where the ball is right here in the swing? That creates late timing and also slow feet, which attributes to his soft and slow ball speed. But look how beautiful he is at the foul line, how steady his head is. He's a shot maker, not to mention the fact that he can trick up the bowling ball at release. He can stay underneath and roll it. He can get on the side and make that thing tip real hard down the lane.
37-year-old from Flower Mound, Texas, taking on Mike Devaney from Temecula, California, outside San Diego, a huge Chargers and Padres fan. Look at that split to start the day for Devaney. Goodness.
One of the things that Mike told us was that he had to be careful of his ball speed because if he throws it too hard, it'll right through the spot down the lane, and that's exactly what happened right there. Instead of that ball hooking up into the pocket, a little too much speed, it goes too long down the lane.
Split numbers. That's 30%. Trying to kick it across deck to the 10-pin, could not, and it opened early for Mike Devaney in his 6th full-time year on tour. Did leave the tour for a while, then regained his full-time status. This is the one title. Here's Patrick Healey Jr. on TV for the first time since Denver. An event won by Wes Malott. He's won 3 times, including Dexter Tournament of Champions. Does have a major. Finesse player, light hit on the first ball. What happened there?
Bad shot. Just threw it way too far to the right. And again, we talked about it when Sean Rash did the same thing in the first match. He gets it too far right and the ball hangs. You're not going to get it back from that spot unless the ball's going about 3 miles an hour down the lane. It's too much oil to the right side or the outside parts of the lane.
Multi-pin numbers. 1, 2, 4. Covers.
Yeah. Patrick has less hand and a lower rev rate, so he's got to go to stronger equipment.
Randy, Ace Hardware matchup. Devaney, a power player. Healey, all about finesse.
Absolutely. Devaney, he's got the big hand, high rev rate. Patrick Healey Jr., just the opposite. Soft hand, lower rev rate. His soft ball speed is what gets his ball to hook.
Both of these right-handers, 0-2. They were down in their round of 8 matches and came back to win. Healey Jr. against Pete Weber. Different lane, much better ball reaction. Does have 10 down in the pit. Patrick Healey Jr.
Not near as far to the right.
Right.
You see there, it hits that spot, and it starts to pick up off of that spot. You get it right at that spot down the lane. It's about the 8th board at 42 feet. You get right of it, it hangs. Left of it, you've got a good chance.
As we talked about, big comebacks in the round of 8. Mike Edwards bidding for his second ever title, fell a bit short. And in that 6th game, Edwards completely lost his look here in Parkersburg. And Devaney took advantage and closed the door on him. Interesting note about Mike Devaney. Talked to us yesterday in the interview with him about how he's improved his knowledge of the game. He understands much more as we see the road to TV about layouts, about strategy. It's not just how you throw the ball. A lot more goes into it.
Well, he says he understands his equipment better and knows what to change to and when. And that's been the difference.
It's a high shot. Late help, but they're all down!
Are you kidding me?
Spinning Messenger takes 3 pins with it. Incredible.
Wow. This could have been 5. Instead, this pin comes over and it runs into the 6th, trips the 3, and the 6 hits the 10. Mike's like, oh yeah, good clean living. One of the funniest guys on tour right there, Mike Devaney.
An absolute riot, no doubt about it. Patrick Healey Jr. is a very quiet, silent assassin type, as you described it. Has been a light hit. It's not near the pocket on that lane.
What are you doing?
Gosh. 2-4-10, Randy. Tough split here.
Yeah, and very uncharacteristic of Pat Healey Jr., who, like I said, is a shot marker. He makes good shots. And the last 2 times on that right lane, too far to the right. Get the ball over into here, throw the 2 into the 10. The ball will take out the 4.
Like Sean Rash, former member of Team USA, great amateur career before he went to Wichita State. Leaves the 10 to become a shocker there. Along with Rash, Chris Barnes, Rick Steele-Smith, Justin Romit, Lonnie Walchek, Nathan Bohr, all former Wichita State bowlers. We've come through that incredible program with coaches Becken and Lewis. The road to TV for him. Speaking of Wichita State, there are a couple of them right there. Steele, Smith, and Barnes, then Pete Weber in a great round of 8 match in 6. All 10 down for Patrick Healey. It tells us Coach Vatican from Wichita still calls him on occasion, wishing him good luck and getting updates on his game. Patrick, an All-American back there in 1988. So the coach maintains contact a long time.
Great coaches, Gordon Vatican, Mark Lewis from Wichita State, but let's not forget a coach by the name of Fred Borden, who helped these players when they were with Team USA, Sean Rash included. In fact, Sean Rash said that Fred Borden was possibly the greatest coach on the planet.
There's the good 3-bagger.
Great help on number 7. He'll gladly take it. Our coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour rolls on. 63rd U.S. Open. Can Chris Barnes defend his title, his first ever major? And remember the exciting roll-off we had with Patrick Allen and Mika Korbunemi and the emotion PA had en route to the Chris Schenkel Award. Great season, Player of the Year. 12:30 Eastern Time. We hope the snow is under control a week from now and that all of you fans planning on making that trip are driving carefully today.
Wow.
It again avoids a split for Devaney.
And right now, in the breaks department, it's all Devaney. Carries that high hit on that lane. First he goes light, leaves a 210. Then he goes high, trips out the 3-6-10 for a strike, turns into a 3-bagger. Then he goes light again on that the very next shot on that same lane, and gets lucky to trip the 10 out to only leave the 2-pin. Wow. He's waiting for that ball to hook.
The single pin number, but barely. Now he is struggling here, Randy. My question to you is, can he go back to the strategy and go back to his planning Mike Devaney's worked on so hard to help him in this moment?
Well, absolutely. That's exactly what he's going to call upon right now to make the proper adjustment on that left lane.
5th frame. Healey Jr., big shot here. Can reduce the deficit to 9. Looks for a double. Has all 10 down.
Last 2 shots completely different than when he started the match. You can see it looks like he's going much more direct. His hand more up the back of the ball, much straighter line to the 1-3. And the result is a double.
Has homes in Flower Mound, Texas, and in Mexico City, Mexico. As we see the last 3 TV appearance struggles for Healey Jr. Can take the lead with a strike. His wife Teresa, great bowler in her own right. Stepson Victor, 17 years old. Doesn't get help, although he avoids a disastrous split there. Has a 10-pin. So Patrick commutes between Flower Mound at times and Mexico City. Speaks near fluent Spanish, he tells us. He has made that huge Mexican city a real home for himself. Has a 10-pin. Devaney has a 10-pin lead right now on Patrick Healey Jr.'s second semifinal. The youngster Sean Rash has already won. He's through. We'll have more of this exciting semifinal coming up when we return to Parkersburg. Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to Motel6.com. You've got to go back to January 5th, 2003. Last time Mike Devaney won a title, his only championship, beat Bob Learn Jr., Norm Duke in the finals in Tacoma, Washington. Trying to get number 2 here today. Can he do it? Here's the question. Head to PBA.com. Check out the Tour's online store for all the latest officially licensed PBA merchandise and apparel. Brand new items include Pete Weber and Tommy Jones signature T-shirts. And while you're there, you can catch up on all the latest tour news, stats, and tournament results. Get it all at PBA.com. A reminder for you New Jersey bowling fans, we're heading to the Pro-Am today. Snowed out. It's been postponed. PBA doing its very best to reschedule. Go online and find out at PBA.com. Back to Devaney. All 10 down.
I could really use a scorpion pattern beanie because it's pretty cold out there. Great shot here by Mike Devaney. He said that the key for him this week was to keep his hand up the back of the ball, keeps it on line, and also helps him to keep his speed softer.
Look at his top finishes this year. Just amazing story with Devaney.
Oh. Wow, changed balls, made a good shot.
No help on the scout across the deck for number 10. He tells us he and his girlfriend Carrie sat down at the end of last season. Had a pretty good year last year. Was 17th after the season in tour rankings, so certainly exempt. He wasn't sure if he was going to come back and bowl. Didn't feel like he had the mental approach he needed to be successful out here. He nearly left the PBA again.
Yeah, and then changed his mental outlook and attitude, and you can see that today's game, I mean, obviously you have to have the physical tools, but what separates the men from the boys out here is all upstairs. It's all in that coconut.
Patrick Healey Jr. trying to snap a 40-event winless streak. 7th frame. Bottom of your screen, other finishers. Round of 32 on. Robert Smith 0 for 5 in round of 8 appearances. That crosses over, and he leaves the 6-10. Adjustments, ball reaction, and end of the 41-foot scorpion pattern. Strategy. Exactly what Devaney talked to us about last night. So big as the match progresses and the oil breaks down. Covers.
Pat Healey's trying to go straighter, right? Well, he strikes in the 4th and 5th frame through really good shots, a little straighter up the lane. The last 2 shots to me looked like he got a little soft with his speed and he hit it more. For Pat Healey Jr. to keep the ball on line, he need to back his hand out of it a little bit and reduce the hook, and that way it's easier for him to go straighter up the lane.
So that's a big change in strategy. The best player likes to hook it.
Whoa. Late hit there. Catches a 7 late. Well, watch this. This ball's a pretty good shot here. Moves a little bit deeper on the lane. When he moves deeper, now he can get his hand around it, so he's constantly making adjustments. Out.
In his 8th frame. Devaney down 12, up 12 rather. Gets number 5 to go down late in that strike.
You know, the last couple of weeks out here, or I should say maybe the last month and a half, the scores have been fairly low out here on tour. This week it only took a 209 average to make it to match play. The highest game Devaney can shoot is 237. Pat Healey Jr. can shoot 225. I mean, not real big scores.
Now a chance to go up 22. We'll do it. And a double in the 8th and 9th. Big foundation frame strike for Devaney.
Yeah, and that was huge because if he doesn't strike in that frame, Pat Healey Jr. can strike out and steal this match away. Right now, Healey must strike out 9th and 10th frame to force Mike Devaney to get the first strike and 9 spare. See ya. Wow, did that ball get back?
It did, almost in the pocket, however. Yeah, 10 pin for Patrick. He was in desperate need in the 9th frame. A strike there.
You heard Patrick say it. The difference in this match is not being able to make the shots when he needs to. First frame, third frame, that shot there. Boy, I was real surprised that one even got back to the head pin. It looked like it was way too far to the right.
25th career TV appearance. Native of Niagara Falls, New York. Eventually, we talked about, went to Wichita State College. He's lived all over the world, settled down in Texas and Mexico.
Wow.
Great look from our crew, lane level at his ball reaction. But again, not in that 1-3 pocket. And the bowler who describes his year as up and down.
And as good a player as he is, you know that he's thoroughly disgusted with his performance today in terms of physically how he threw the ball. But Pat Healey is a shot maker. He prides himself in making shots. He's a great bowler, and you know when you have that much talent, you're as good as that, and you just don't get it done. You don't make the shots that you normally make. It's very frustrating.
Things looking very good for Devaney here. Trying to advance to take on Sean Rash for a title. Patrick Healey Jr. World Amateur Bowl of the Year in 95 and 96. U.S. Amateur of the Year 91, 92, 95. Tremendous international experience. But here today, Devaney from Southern California. We'll have a strike and we'll have a win. He'll take on the youngster, 23-year-old Sean Rash for a title here today in Parkersburg. Devaney's got to feel better about confidence. We talked to him just before match today. He said, really, no one has a great look out here in warm-ups. I still feel good about how things will work out for me.
Yeah, and you're going to watch a match that involves two guys that don't leave anything in the bag. I mean, these guys have a lot of stuff on the ball. They throw pins all over the place, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
It's been 62 events since Mike Devaney has won. First and only win, Earl Anthony Classic, Tacoma, Washington, 2003. So 3+ years. He does have a win.
Thank you. Give me 20.
Devaney, Rash in our final from Parkersburg, West Virginia. When we come back, Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Parker Bone III, Mike Machuga. Folks, there's some unbelievable trick shots coming your way. You will not want to miss it. Put down that remote control. Stay with us. The second semifinal will take on Sean Rash for a title today here in Parkersburg. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire crew as live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour continues. What great SRO crowds we've had all week here in Parkersburg. Sunday night, the pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr. returns to his hometown for the first time since his appearance last year on the Contender to take on 5th-ranked former world champ Scott the Sandman Pemberton in a super middleweight fight. Contender Special, East Coast Pride on ESPN, 9:30 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Great bowling here with our 4 we've seen. How about some skills challenge action with some incredible shots? Great matchup in this week's Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Round of 8, Parker Bone III, Mike Machuga.
Well, Parker, I'm going to take something you're not very good at from the start. Over the towel, high pin count, got to get 8.
From behind the approach, Randy, tough shot here.
I love it.
He's got 9.
I think this would be a good one for Mika to pull off, but I don't know about Parker.
You got to have loft. Parker, no. 1 strike to none, Machuga.
That's 1. Watch closely as I'm going to set up 7 consecutive pins. 1 shot.
Mike's going to have some fun with him. He wouldn't throw it. We think.
This is the ultimate sleeper.
Let's see.
Tough shot, all 7 down. Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Machuga's got to match it.
Oh my God.
1 strike each.
Backwards between the legs. My sister loves this one.
Look at the spin. He's got some hook to it. That is sweet.
If I
I go through the legs backwards and keep it on the lane, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Parker, just don't hurt yourself.
Good. Good.
Gotta have some real quickness to turn around and still get the ball to hook.
Again.
Good try, Parker.
2 strikes to 1, Machuga.
All right, 1 more.
7-10. Trademark skills challenge shot from Parker Bone III with 2 balls.
That's got
Looking
a good
good.
chance this time. That's what I'm talking about. You get a little heavy after you hold them for a while. Half my body weight. It's all the norms.
Man. He's got to match him. 7-10 with 2 balls, or he has a second strike.
Hang on.
Not quite enough. 2 strikes each. The 3-10 split. Backward end between the legs. Seahawks could have used this guy in Super Bowl 40.
Long snapper. Maybe a side job for Mike.
Perfect shot.
Hell yeah. You can forfeit right now. I'll pay for your sushi. I'm getting kind of nervous about this. It's supposed to be over by now. No, I think I got to make it and go on to the next one. It's the game. You use a bowling ball and you knock the pins over. Just knock the pin? Figure it out. You're a professional.
Some trash talk about Machuga.
Little intimidation, why not? This is for the game after all. Parker's got to convert, or he's done. Not quite. Machuga wins it 3 strikes to 2. And he advances to the semifinals. In 2 weeks after the U.S. Open, we're back to Buffalo. We're back to the PBA Skills Challenge. Richie Allen, Tony Reyes. Should be a great matchup. Speaking of Tony, we have very sad news to pass along. His father, Antonio Reyes, passed away this week. Tony wanted to let his PBA fans and the media know he'll be with his family for a while. When he returns to the tour, he'll dedicate the rest of his season to him. Had to leave Atlanta after his dad had a mishap last week. Our heartfelt condolences from the ESPN family to yours, Tony Reyes.
Dave, I don't know of a player out here on tour that doesn't like Tony. He said he got to be the way he was, or the way he is, because of his father. And Tony, we just want you to know that your PBA brothers out here, myself included, want you and your family to know that our thoughts and prayers are with you.
We'll have more from Parkersburg after this. 23 years old against Mike Devaney for a title here today in West Virginia. Ready? Let's check out the Geico Championship recap.
All right, 9th frame, semifinal number 1. Sean Rash throwing trash. Takes care of Mike Scroggins, 246 to 194. And the 9th frame in semifinal number 2, Mike Devaney defeating Patrick Healey Jr. by the score of 226 to 194, setting up a great championship match. Thank you.
7 of our 14 events this year have been won by bowlers under 30. Sean Rash can improve that number. Tommy Jones has a tour leading 3 titles. Les Malata has 1. Mike Machuga, Mike Wolf, Richie Allen. The all under 30 crowd. Devaney is 33. So for the veterans, he'd like a win. And a nice start.
Devaney's been here before, but this is uncharted water for that kid right there, Sean Rash.
His dad, Gene, coming all the way from near Anchorage, Alaska. The first thing Sean did when he beat Walter A. Williams Jr. here on Friday. Actually 0-4 in the first shot championship match, has a split to deal with. He called his folks. He said, "Mom, Dad, I did it. I made it." He told us, "I wanted to call my parents so they wouldn't have to hear from anyone else. I wanted to be the ones to tell them I had beaten Walter A. Williams Jr. in a round of 8 match and made a show." Incredible story.
Yeah, he had to get it up before the internet posted it, so get that phone call out.
Split. Has it! Oh, my, what a shot.
Well, he did the same thing in Game 5 against Walter Ray Williams Jr. He needs to make the 210 to win that game, and he does it. Showing a lot of maple moxie for a young guy, Dave.
Without question. The definition of maple moxie, Randy. Talk about a big shot. Power player. Been known to throw that spare ball almost 22 miles an hour. He can bring it. Perfect shot.
You can see that he's playing the lanes completely different than he did in the first semifinal. Much deeper, going with more hand, a little softer speed, and really hooking it. He's in the Devaney zone now, and these guys are going to be playing pretty much the same line.
Significant move to the left. January 03, last title. It's a high shot right through the nose and a split to boot. 3-6-7-10.
3-6-7-10. Mike's going to try to get the ball over here to the right side of the 3-pin, throw the 3 over into the 7. The ball will take out the 6-10. These guys leave a lot of these 3-6-10 combinations. They get a lot of practice at them. I wouldn't be surprised if Devaney makes it. Oh, you kidding me?
Incredible, those pins sprayed around the 7. He did not take it down. An open frame. It is early. But the way Rash is bowling, I think it's going to be difficult to come back from it.
Right now the question mark is the right lane, and Mike Devaney just open on that lane. Sean Rash made the 210, or excuse me, the 2-4-10 to get a mark on that lane.
Two-pin Devaney. It is third career finals appearance, 1-1 all time, and championship games on TV. Seventh time he's been on television in his career, in the second of this season. Lost to emotional favorite Del Ballard Jr. in Phoenix this year, 226-201. Del lost eventually to Richie Allen in the final. Our ace matchup, Devaney, the elder statesman, and Sean Rash. Can he overcome the nerves and win one more time?
Well, that remains to be seen, but this matchup is an exempt player who participates week in and week out, who's tour proven, tour ready, against a guy who's only making it into the tournament proper for the second time ever.
Almost more help with a scout across the deck to the 10-pin.
Good shot. A guy with TV experience versus a guy with no TV experience.
He's only been on ESPN before for the IBC Collegiate Championships a couple of years back. It was tape delayed, not live TV. He said he had a Team USA appearance in Singapore with Dino Castillo, one of his teammates on Team USA. That was televised in that part of the world. There were about 700 people, he told us, in the house that day, so a little bit of experience to draw from. But this is a different animal, folks. Denny's PBA Tour, best in the world, live coverage, and here he is on the verge of a championship.
Really hard to describe and explain what it takes to win at this level. What it takes mentally, what it takes physically. Unless you've been there and trying to throw shots for... Unless you've been there and you try to execute shots under this kind of pressure and you're able to pull it off, it's really hard to describe.
210 spare. He made it against Walter Ray Williams Jr. in a big spot on Friday in the round of 8.
He made it in the first frame. All you had to do is add the 4-pin. But again, for Sean Rash, when he gets too fast, the ball doesn't turn up into the pocket. He's got to be careful of his ball speed.
Can't convert this time. Talk about a fastball, bringing it down lane on that spare shot. But it's an open, so he returns the favor. An open in the second for Devaney, an open in the fourth for Sean Rash, the rookie. Who stands the tallest here in Parkersburg? We find out. Don't go away. Here in Parkersburg at the same house. We are back again. Great matchup. Devaney Rash in the final.
Well, Sean Rash started playing pretty straight right here. Now you're going to see what he's done. He's made a big move. He's gone in to the middle part of the lane, and now he's trying to throw it to that same spot. But the key is for Sean Rash is all about ball speed.
Devaney told us adjustments, understanding strategy in the game, critical for his progress as a bowler on this tour. So now, Rash doing the same thing. All of his international experience, collegiate success. He knows what move to make. Devaney. Another light hit, double wood again. Some trouble for Mike Devaney. Fourth frame.
And both guys are struggling to get to the pocket. And you know, the question that Mike Devaney is asking himself right now is, well, do I go to a more aggressive bowling ball and stay where I'm at? Or do I go to a more aggressive bowling ball and move further left? You know, what is the move? And when you make that move, it has to be with 100% total confidence. Otherwise, you won't make a good shot.
There's a double wood cover. And a mark in the fourth frame. Down a pin now.
Right now, the guys mentally are in overdrive. And when you start seeing guys sweat a lot on television, it's because they're doing a lot of thinking and a lot of fishing, trying to figure out how to get their ball to the pocket.
Mike tells us there just isn't a big difference between the top rated bowler in terms of points on tour and maybe the 50th, 60th in terms of the absolute talent. But it's the changes. Strategy like right now. And another disastrous shot.
Tight back ends for in and out.
2-8-10.
Yeah, he moved right and tried to go straight and jam it. Ball never turned over down the lane. And he said it. We talked about it at the start of the show when we talked about this oil pattern, how tight the back part of the lane tends to get. The front part breaks down, making it real difficult to get the ball to the break point consistently and get to the pocket. Oh!
Almost kicked it across for the 10 instead of second open frame. He's open now in the second and fifth, and that's big trouble. 15-pin lead for the youngster Rash, but he's coming off an open frame.
Two types of lane conditions that make the scoring very difficult. One is a reverse block where the middle part of the lane is dry and the outsides are oily. The other is when the front part of the lane hooks more than the back part of the lane.
See how far inside he is. All 10 down, and his dad has come all the way from Alaska. Just loves it.
Semifinal number one. Look how straight he's going between first and second arrow. A lot of ball speed. You keep the ball on line. This is where he's at now. A good 10 boards left. Softer speed. Really gnawing on it at the bottom of the swing, Dave.
Likes the changes. Just the third, as we talked about. As Johnson made the final. Del Ballard and Phoenix this year made the final. Neither one. Maybe Rash changes that. Not with shots like that, however. Ooh, my. Washout on a very light ball.
When Sean Rash's ball doesn't hook, watch this ball. I mean, it's not going to hook an inch. Just sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding. I mean, just barely back ends down the lane. You know the lanes are really slick down lane.
Look at the power. Gets them all! Huge shot, Sean Rash.
You go, boy. That's what's kept him in the match, making the 2-4-10. And then he makes the 1-2-4-6-10.
A 15-pin lead. So the woman to the left there is Joanna Penn. She was the scorekeeper who met with Sean start of the week and said, Sean, will you make TV for me? Well, of course, he never made the show and said, sure, Joanna, but if you are my scorekeeper the whole way, maybe I will. Crossover, Brooklyn strike for Devaney. And did it ever work out for Joanna Penn, who now has a front row seat to watch Sean Rash here on TV? He's just a few frames away from realizing
the board, cut it off.
That exact goal for her new favorite bowler, Sean Rash. Amazing.
We've got 4 splits and a washout in half a game of bowling. It's like, should we get some bananas to go to these splits? I mean, it's crazy. But, you know, I mean, that's the struggles of this oil pattern. Last couple of weeks, they've been tough. They get even tougher on television. And right now, the guys are just trying to figure out a way to get it done.
Starts inside this time. And has a 4-pin to deal with.
That's too bad, too, because he got a real good break on the right lane going Brooklyn to catch a strike, and he catches this hit here, and it's a pretty close match. Instead, leaves a 4-pin.
Mike told us during warm-ups today, Randy, just before the show, didn't like his ball reaction at all and thought the way the oil would break down, in his opinion, scores would be low. Very prophetic.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it right on the head, with the exception of Sean Rash's 246 game in the first match. Mike Devaney did have 226 in his match, but nothing real big.
He asked for good tempo, and he delivers.
Let's see, he got that ball a little bit further right on that right lane, and ball hits the little hook spot and hooks back. I think he's got to do the same thing on the left lane. He's got to get a little bit further right so it catches some of the worn friction area that the players have created over the last couple of games.
Tempo. All this is tempo.
Big shot here for sure. Chance to go up 25 pins.
Tempo.
His family in Alaska watches. Former teammates at Wichita State as coaches all watch. And see another split. Another 210. He's done this before, nailed it against Walter A. Williams Jr., as we talked about in the round of 8.
Missed it in the 4th frame, made the 2-4-10 the 1st frame, made the super washout in the 6th frame. Wow. Makes it again. Are you kidding me?
He's done it a second time. This kid is incredible. Sean Rash, the 210 split.
Sean Rash making trash again. Converts the 210 to keep his lead in this match. Looking for a job, a full exemption on the PBA Tour next season. $40,000. 2 frames left will determine that young man's future.
Devaney starts from inside this time. Has all 10 down, 60 feet to success for Mike Devaney, and a very big shot as he keeps things tight here.
Horse is a horse, horse is a horse.
I'm not sure what he means by that, but right now, probably the biggest shot of the week. Somehow figure out a way to strike on this lane. Devaney can strike out to shoot 202. Sean Rash can strike out to shoot 207.
Be there. Be there.
It is there, in fact, Mike. A double. Strikes in the 8th and 9th.
Tremendous shot, Dave Ryan. When he needed it the most, Mike Devaney makes another change. Different bowling ball, different line, and throws 2 of the best shots he's thrown of his career. Now, no matter what Mike Devaney has done or will do, if Sean Rash strikes out in the 9th and 10th frame, he will win his first ever PBA title.
Curve. Curve.
Ringing 10.
Great shot.
Boy, it was a great shot, too. That's okay, though. Spare here, strikes out, 196, forces Mike Devaney to double in the 10th.
Max numbers, bottom left. We got to call this kid Sizzling Sean or something after that incredible spare ball. Boy, does he throw that hard.
Well, you look at his game, too. It looks like tic-tac-toe with all the X's and O's, and it's amazing. He still only has 1 open frame with all the stuff that he's left. But that's what's kept him in this match, is converting tough splits and washouts.
Huge strike for the kid.
That makes Mike Devaney get the first one. This next strike will force Mike Devaney to get 2.
His father, Gene, You better believe it, son.
Man, he knows how to keep score. He knows what the score is.
Another huge strike for Sean Rash, and indeed now Mike Devaney must show up. Clutch shots.
Well, I thought there was nothing tougher than to be sitting where Mike Devaney's sitting right now and waiting, knowing what you have to do in the 10th frame as opposed to getting it done first. And going to be all up to Mike Devaney to see what he does in the 10th frame.
One for the rookie, baby.
Great performance by a 23-year-old that's never been on television before.
One of the most extraordinary things we've witnessed in our coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. No question. What a day for Sean Rash in the tournament. We know what Devaney needs.
Roll up.
10-pin.
Sean Rash has won his first ever Denny's PBA Tour title.
Unbelievable. He's a champion at 23 years old. The first ever to go from the PTQ all the way to a championship. Sean Rash hugs Rick Benoit. His personal score, Joanna Penn from here in Parkersburg. Former Wichita State bowler Nathan Bohr. Super Sean Rash is a champion. There she is. She told him at the start of the week, will you win a title for me? And Sean said, well, I'll just try to get maybe into the round of 64. His Uncle Steve is here from Ohio as well to enjoy the moment.
Coming home, baby.
Friends and family all enjoy what Sean Rash has accomplished today. The West Virginia Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. This year, let the tax experts at Jackson Hewitt help you get the biggest refund you deserve. By Dexter, where you can play with the pros. Enter to win at DexterShoe.com. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of bowling. And by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. There you see Gene Rash and Sean's Uncle Steve to his left. The flight that Gene was taking in from Alaska was diverted to Columbus because of the bad weather we're having here in the eastern part of the country. So he and Uncle Steve, who's from Columbus, made the drive to here in Parkersburg. Joanna Penn, the scorekeeper, happy too, and I know Sean Rash is as well, Randy.
Sean Rash, congratulations. Incredible day for you. You've secured a job for next season. Do you think it would feel like this?
Always. I mean, you dream of this as a little kid when you're in juniors, and then you go to college, and then Team USA, and then just coming out here with these guys. To be the best, you got to beat the best. That's one of my philosophies. Definitely not the best because there's Walter Ray and Chris Barnes, and these guys are just so good. And to bowl against these guys every week is just a dream. And I've had nothing to lose all year long since I've turned pro, and it's just an unbelievable feeling.
Thanks, Sean. Congratulations. Dave?
Think of the scene now in Alaska with Mom Diane, family up there watching. Dad Gene, Uncle Steve, and everyone at Wichita State. They're pretty pumped right now. 63rd U.S. Open comes your way, 12:30 Eastern Time here on ESPN next week. It's our second major. Can Chris Barnes defend his title? Bowlers go for $100,000, a 3-year tour exemption in Jersey, weather permitting. Of course, we hope it's better next weekend. Man of the moment without question, Sean Rash. From Wichita, from Denver, and from Alaska, all places he calls home. He is a champion. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next on ESPN, stay with us. EA Sports NFL matchup comes your way. Now for the entire crew. And Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Parkersburg, West Virginia. What a moment for Super Sean Rash, the rookie, a PBA champion.